We are selling the JK, but we're getting a new Jeep. After many months of waiting, it seemed like it was taking forever for us up here in Canada to be able to get any information about ordering the new JL Wrangler with the EcoDiesel. Well, finally, just over a week ago, I was contacted by one of the dealers and I was able to put my order in. I put my deposit down. It's already been accepted by the factory for manufacturing, so it's only a matter of time before it gets built and shipped up here. And I am so excited. I don't think I've been this excited to get a new vehicle since probably the Corvette, yeah. But unfortunately, we are gonna have to sell the JK. I'm gonna need some room in the driveway and I don't really need two Jeeps. So it's been a long decision process on deciding just exactly what I wanna do, whether I wanna continue to mod the JK, whether I wanna get a new JL with one of the other motor options or get the JL with the EcoDiesel. But I decided I'm getting the EcoDiesel. That thing is going to be awesome with all that torque. When I lift it, put larger tires on it, and it weighs more with all the armor and gear that I carry around. I want to get that because I want to tell you guys just how well it performs and how well it is working for me. Then we're going to take it off-roading and we're going to take it on all my road trips that I have planned for the spring, down to Oregon, up island, over to Idaho, interior British Columbia, like tons of stuff going on. I don't know how I'm going to actually find time to edit all this video, but it's gonna be a crazy spring and summer, and I'm gonna be doing it in the diesel Wrangler. So, what options did I pick? Well, let's go through just the features that are available for it, and I'm gonna tell you guys which ones I picked and why, because there is a lot, and I didn't get them all, and I'm gonna tell you which model I got. I'm not gonna tell you guys what color I got. I'm gonna leave that for a surprise when we go and pick it up, but I will tell you how I spec'd it out today in today's video. So, for my Canadian subscribers, because as of shooting this video, the pricing information still isn't on Jeep.ca. The cost to add the EcoDiesel to any model Wrangler is $9,200, and that includes the 8-speed automatic transmission, which you need with the diesel. Now, I was planning on getting the automatic anyways, which was $2,500 option. If you're planning on getting the diesel to try to save money on fuel, even though it's being rated at around 28 to 30 miles per gallon in real world driving, that's gonna take you forever to recuperate that cost. So that should not be your primary factor for buying the EcoDiesel. Where I think the EcoDiesel really matters is when you want that extra torque on your modified Jeep. If you're planning on lifting it, putting larger tires, lugging around a ton of gear, maybe a rooftop tent, adding armor to it, it adds a lot of weight, and that diesel is gonna be awesome on road trips. I don't know if it'll make a huge difference on the trail. That's one thing I definitely want to take note of and tell you guys just how the diesel responds, the shift points, what sort of RPMs it revs to, whether it loses power before shifting. But on the highway, driving with that, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a game changer, I think, for highway driving on a modified Jeep. I did order a Rubicon. I hummed and hawed and thought, should I order a Sport or a Rubicon? And in my other video back in November, I talk about the differences between the two. And there's some things that I just didn't want to have to deal with the Sport. And a couple of those are, you get the larger brakes, you get the 2-piston larger brakes on the front of the Rubicon. And I believe that's also an option on the Sahara if you're looking at that model. But you also get the 4-to-1 transfer case, which is really nice. You get the lockers, you get the sway bar disconnect. And so these were all options that, you know, things like the lockers and the sway bar disconnect, one day, if I add larger axles to it, may not matter so much, but today, and definitely for the first year, that's gonna make a big difference. And I didn't wanna have to deal with adding lockers and dealing with sway bar disconnects. And when I put larger tires on, then I gotta go find bigger brakes. And it's really nice to have that 4-to-1 transfer case right out of the box. So I did go with the Rubicon. It is more money, but for me, it just made a lot more sense because trying to deal with all that, as well, the time that it's gonna take me, the Rubicon just made a ton of sense. So let's go through the exterior options. Now, I am looking at Jeep.com because as of today, still on Jeep.ca, you cannot find the diesel JL Wrangler yet. It's only on Jeep.com. So I'm just looking through the options I'm gonna show you guys. So if some of these screenshots that I put up, the prices, they're in US dollars because they're just not on the Jeep.ca website yet. So going through the exterior options, I did go with body matched fender flares. This is really just a personal preference. The other thing is with the body matched fender flares, if I want to wrap them in vinyl, The painted fender flares are easier to wrap than sort of the rough textured black plastic if you don't go with the color matched fender flares. So I went with color match to match my Jeep. I do have some plans to do some different wrapping of it. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's why I went with the painted ones. It's not a very expensive option, and to me it just made a little bit more sense. I did not order the black grille. I do not like black grills. I want my grille to be the same color as my Jeep. As far as wheels and tires go, I don't care. I don't even remember which ones I ordered because it literally is gonna matter for about 100 kilometers. But there is a mud tire option, but for me, it didn't make any sense. These are not gonna last on the Jeep very long at all. Just an option I didn't really care about. I did not go with the hinge reinforced rear tailgate. I am adding a tire carrier to the Jeep. I am probably going with a bumper mounted tire carrier at this point. There's several options out there. I'm gonna try something for a while. I haven't used a bumper mounted tire carrier, and I don't want to drill holes in my body for a body mount carrier right away. Maybe in the future, but for now, I'm gonna try it out and just see how well a tire carrier goes that is mounted to the bumper, and I have one in mind I'll tell you about in a future video. As for tops, I went with the basic soft top. I'm gonna try this out, but most hard tops and most people, almost everybody, and it's pretty much just a common knowledge running joke now, hard tops leak. Hard tops don't do well banging into trees around here where we wheel. So I went with the factory soft top. I am gonna be looking at getting the fastback soft top, probably from Best Top in the future. But for now, we're just gonna go with the factory soft top, try it out, see how it is. I do kind of like the very square look, and you get some extra cargo space by having that completed square back instead of the fastback. So that is the top I went with. I'm not a big fan of hard tops on Jeeps, as well as extra weight. I didn't order any of the fancy stripes or deco, however you want to pronounce it. I didn't order any of that. You know, trail scales are probably going to go on the side of it anyways. So moving into the interior, this is one that took me a while to think on and decide whether or not I wanted to go with leather or cloth, and I ended up going with cloth. It's gonna save me some money. I do like cloth because it is cooler, I find. You don't get that hot leather, and in a Jeep where I may have the top off, things like that. As well, leather is more prone to wearing out, and you get that kind of crinkly look on the side bolsters of the seats, even if you try to take care of it. It's really challenging, especially in a lifted Jeep where I'm jumping in and out and I'm really crunching those sides all the time. So I went with a cloth interior, and this is something that you can change easily enough. Like companies like Catskins, which I do believe provides an option even when you're ordering your Jeep, you can just recover your seats if you want. There's also a lot of aftermarket options out there for seats, for off-road seats, suspension seats, things like that. PRP is a very reputable brand that I may be looking at in the future, so I didn't feel like spending extra money ordering leather. It's not really for me. I do like cloth in the Jeep, and that is the option I went with. However, with those cloth seats, I did add heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Now, the heated steering wheel I'm kind of indifferent about. I had one a while ago in my Ram truck. It was really nice in the winter when it was cold, but honestly, I could live without it. The heated seats for me though are really nice, especially when I'm having back issues and when I'm out off-roading all day. If my back starts to get sore, it's really nice to throw that heated seat on and try to give me some comfort. It is nice in the winter. My wife does enjoy the heated seats in the passenger seat if we're out somewhere or driving it around in the winter. It's not a really expensive option. It's something that's really hard to add down the road. So I went with the heated seat option, and I got a heated steering wheel with that, which is kind of cool. Now, the stereo, I did add the premium Alpine system. Guys, I love good sounding music in my cars. My Corvette has the premium sound system in it. My Jeep will have the premium sound system in it. And it's just one thing that I don't want to have to spend time messing around with or modifying, because I want to spend my time modifying my Jeep for off-road use or taking it off-roading or on trips. So I just went with the sound system that you can upgrade with from the factory. I think it's a pretty good sounding system. I've heard it in some other jails so far. It's good enough for me. I don't need a window shattering subwoofer mega bass system. But the larger touchscreen display is nice, and the connectivity options, and as well, it just sounds better. So I did add that. That's not something I want to deal with too much in the future, and I got that. As well, I got the all-weather floor mats, something you can buy aftermarket, but I went with them right from the factory. I think they look kind of cool, but as well, there's always mud and dirt and water and crap in my Jeep, and it's just nicer to have those rubber floor mats, and they're really kind of cool because they have that topograph embedding into them, which looks like a map, something like that. But they look nice, but they keep things clean. They keep the water sort of contained into one area when you're getting in and out, maybe with snowy boots or whatever. As for some of the other additional features like the sill guards, I already have a pair of those that I ordered from AliExpress. If you check out my AliExpress Jeep parts unboxing video, they were like 20 bucks or 25 bucks, way cheaper than the price from the manufacturer or dealer. So I didn't get the sill guards, but I will be putting those on. As far as the other stuff, I don't need it. The recovery gear option that you have, the Jeep trail rated kit, no, I have all that. I don't need that. I did get the remote start. It's a pretty expensive option, but it's kind of nice. Now, the remote start on my Rubicon right now doesn't work half the time because there's a check engine light usually on for some reason or other, which usually negates the remote start from happening. But I did add that. It's kind of nice. We'll see. Especially with the diesel, I want to be able to warm it up before I take it out, especially in the cold weather. So I'll be able to start it up from the house and hop in, and the diesel motor already be warmed up and ready to go. I did get the remote proximity keyless entry system. This is a $500 US option, so it's probably like $1 million Canadian, but I like it. The reason why I like it is because I always have the key with me in my pocket, so if I get out on the trail and the doors happen to be locked, I'm not locked out, and that is a thing that can happen. Right now in my Jeep, I always roll the window down a little bit when I get out, so that if for some reason the doors didn't automatically unlock when I stopped and put it in park and my Jeep is still running, I can open the door. So with this system, I'll always have the key in my pocket, and that's just kind of alleviates one more thing I worry about when I'm out off-roading. Now, as far as packages and equipment groups go, this one was an absolute essential for me. This is the trailer tow and heavy duty electrical group. Now the trailer tow, not so much. I'm probably never gonna tow anything with my Jeep, but the heavy duty electrical group gives you the 240 amp alternator, which, you know, in the Jeep, we're gonna be running tons of stuff. We're gonna have winches on there. We're gonna have air compressors. We're gonna have lights, whatever. So I did want that larger alternator system, but it also includes the 4 aux switches, or the 4 auxiliary switches in your dash, which gives you 4 pre-run wires under the hood that you can then use to trigger a relay or some other piece of equipment under a certain amperage. And it's built right in the dash. I don't need any sort of switch system. This was an absolute option that I was gonna have. This is, you know, we're just not gonna have this. Not gonna. That doesn't sound very well. Well, that's, man, I can't speak today, guys. That does not sound very good. So this was definitely an option. It gives you the class 2 receiver, etc., etc. But I wanted these auxiliary switches. It just keeps the dash clean. The less stuff I have in my Jeep with the soft top, the less stuff that people are gonna see and walk by and maybe want to, you know, try to cut it open and steal. So I've got that all integrated into the dash, which will be cool. So the next option is the steel bumper group. I did go with the steel bumper group. Even though I'm planning to replace the rear bumper right away, I wanted that factory front bumper. The reason being, well, I can still add a winch to it. I can get the winch plate from Warren, and I can add a bull bar to it. And I can take the end caps off the front to open up the front tire space. But I wanted this bumper for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to be able to have that JL OEM look for a little while. I really do like the look of the new bumper. But as well, if for some reason I get pulled over here in British Columbia, I do need a full width bumper on my Jeep. I can put those end caps back on and go get an inspection and leave them on. But as well, there's a crumple zone in the front bumper, which is also required for an inspection. So if you put an aftermarket steel bumper on your Jeep here in British Columbia, you can get flagged for not having that crumple zone that comes in the factory bumper. Up to you guys, but for me, I went for the steel bumper. It is a bit of a pricey group. It's 1,400 bucks US. I think it was $1,600 Canadian, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep that front bumper. We'll throw the other bumper in the bumper pile out back. But I do like the look of it. I do think that it adds to the look of the newer model Jeeps, and I wanna try it out, see how it goes. So I'm gonna be adding a Warren winch kit to it and a little bull bar to it, and we'll put that on. We'll see how it looks, see how it goes. And maybe we'll change that bumper out in the future. The thing about the steel bumpers, they are in quite high demand. So if I ever do pull off both, I can sell them and probably get a lot of my money back on it anyways. So the next option are the safety group and advanced safety group. This has things like blind spot monitoring, cross path detection, LED tail lamps. Now we'll talk about LED lights in a second. Park assist, like I don't need something helping me park my Jeep. The advanced group adds brake assist, full speed forward collision warning, automatic headlights. No, I didn't order any of that stuff. We don't need extra safety stuff because, you know, I don't think it actually makes the Jeep any safer. I think it makes the Jeep safer for a driver that's maybe not paying attention. I don't know. Let me know, leave some comments. What do you guys think about these options? Should I have got them? I don't know. To me, it just seemed like all these extra sensors and doodads and electronic things are more things to break. When you replace your front and rear bumpers, it's sensors that are just gonna get in the way of your modifications. You've now got sensors in your rear taillights facing forward, so when you break one of those, they're more expensive, and yeah, we'll probably break stuff on the Jeep. It's just inevitable. So between those two options, that's almost 2,000 bucks US. That's a big chunk. We didn't get that. We'll save that money for cool mods. Now, I did say that just going through the sound system, we did upgrade. So we do have the 8.4 inch. I do want to test out the trail map system. So it does have the GPS navigation in there. I want to see what that's like off-road. Can I use it at all? Is it worthwhile? But I just get the bigger screen, a little easier to see, buttons are easier to push, but I wanted that sound system because I like music. I love to listen to music when I'm out driving on the trail and I'm not filming. The stereo is always going, so it's nice to have that extra sound system in there. Now, the LED lighting group is an option. It is 1,000 bucks. It includes the accent lights on the front fender flares. It includes the LED fog lights, headlights, and tail lights. I did get that option. I love the look of the LED lights in the fender flares as well. I want bright headlights. You know, the older JKs before LED was an option are notorious for having terrible headlights. So I did get that option. I think it really kind of adds to the look of the front of the new JLs, especially having those on the fender flares. As far as the taillights, I'm kind of indifferent, but it's just part of the package and it comes with it. Smokers group, no, we definitely didn't get that. So, but yeah, other options on here. It's the diesel. We got the diesel. We got the automatic because that's required. It does come with a 373 gear ratio. That's standard in all of the EcoDiesels. If you're looking at the EcoDiesel models, they all come with Dana 44s front and rear, and it's geared to 373, probably because you've got torque for days coming out of that motor and you don't need a higher gear ratio. Now, it'd be really interesting to see how that performs with 37 or maybe 40-inch tires down the road without regearing, and that'll be something that I'll have to think about, especially if I add aftermarket axles later with 40-inch tires. What gear ratio will you get with the diesels? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some research, talk to some people, but for now it doesn't matter. We got the 373s. We're gonna try that out with 37-inch tires. Yeah, spoiler, we're getting 37s to start out. Didn't get an engine block heater, and yeah, that's pretty much all the options. You know, the one option that I really wish that was available, which is really complicated to get now, I like the red stitching and the red insert on the front dash. But on the color I picked and the things I want to do, the red, I don't like the red, but it's not an option. I can't get rid of it. So the only way to get rid of it is to go with that brown or tan interior, and then it switches out to a silver, but then I'm stuck with brown leather. So I've got to pay for leather, costs more. There is no cloth option without red stitching and the red insert, which is kind of frustrating, at least in the Rubicon. I think if you go to the Sahara or some other, or the Sport, you may be able to get rid of it. But in the Rubicon, they all have red stitching and a red insert, which is really annoying. With cloth or black leather. So only if you go with that brown leather. So that's how I spec'd my jail. I'm not going to tell you guys the color. I will be waiting until the reveal to show you guys. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So if you're planning to buy a new jail or a new jail with an EcoDiesel, let me know. I'd love to talk to other EcoDiesel owners. But you know, I'd love to talk to everybody about Jeeps anyways. But if you're wondering about some stuff, leave me some comments down below. Follow me over on Instagram, Casey_250. Drop me some DMs if you have some questions. I'd love to help people out. I get messages all the time. I'm a little bit slow responding because I'm starting to get more and more messages, but I try to help out or answer as much as I can, and I love to chat with Jeep enthusiasts all the time. All right, this video is probably way longer than I thought it was gonna be. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe because it is gonna be a crazy spring and summer with road trips, new Jeep, new builds, mods, everything, and a huge series of vlogs to go pick up the new JL. I'll see you guys next week. In the next upload. I'm out.